Hi friends, it's Julia. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. Today I'm creating a layout using my May 2020 Counterfeit Kit Challenge Kit. Now this is going to be a double page layout, and my base papers are Basil cardstock, and they are a little bit bigger than 12 by 12, so you can see this piece of paper that I have is a scrap of paper, so it's not quite 12 by 12. It's probably 12 by 10, but I want it to go across both pages, so I'll end up trimming it here in a little bit when I get my photo placement where I'm going to have it. Before I glue everything down, I'll get that fixed. Right now, I had run these scraps of paper through a Sizzix machine, and for whatever reason, because I think that cardstock is so thick, it's a Basil cardstock, it just did not cut all the way through. And so I'm having to go back through and trim these down a little bit. I think next time, if I use it on a heavy duty cardstock, I'm going to have to put a shim with it. I've never had problems unless I'm using the very thick textured Basil cardstock. That's really the only time I have problems with this die. And you can see from the very start, I cut a bunch of these borders because they're going to go at the top and the bottom of this layout. Now this is a layout, and I don't know if you can see it down in the bottom right corner. It's just one I found on Pinterest. I often do that. Usually when I want a 2-page layout, I will go to Scrapbook Generation, my sketches from them, or my sketches that I've downloaded, or my sketchbooks, and I will find what I want there. But for whatever reason, I had the Pinterest app open and I was looking through there. Here, because I don't want the scallops to be right on top of each other, I want them a little bit offset. I'm going through and kind of overlapping a little bit the dark pink. It looks red in the video, but really it's dark pink scallops there. And you'll see as I go along, oops, tape gun ran out, so I did a quick fix and redid that. And sorry, you're going to get a shot of my bed head here. I put my hair in a top knot when I go to bed. And sometimes when I get up early on the weekend to scrapbook, I don't always take it down. And it stays with me most of the day. So anywho, I'm just going through and I'm getting these scallops situated where I want them and gluing them down. And I almost wish I had made the gold ones a little bit smaller, only because at the top and bottom when I finish, it's almost like they're too deep. And so I'll fix that with a piece of washi tape going along there. So it'll turn out okay. But when you place that right down at the bottom, that's like a full inch plus wide. So it seemed to be just a little bit too much for me. And those pieces of paper are stuck together now because I have those scallops crossing over that center. I'll cut them apart here in a little bit, but I want to get the placement for these scallops down first. Sorry, another bed head shot. Since I cut my hair off, when I get around to making a video and my head pops into it, my hair seems to stand more on end than it ever has in any previous video when my hair was longer. And I hope that doesn't offend anybody. Anywho, so I have previously done a layout of my granddaughter's birthday in 2014, and that's what this one is again. It's another birthday layout, and it's of her blowing out the candles on her cake and cutting it up and sharing it with the people who are at her party. And so in the photos, she is wearing a blue party dress or gown, whatever you want to call it. She was being a princess that day and was wearing a blue gown. And so, yeah, there's a lot of background that has pink in it, and the house colors are browns and greens. And so you get that feel for the gold and the floral. It feels like a girly layout. You can see with the pink in the background from the cake, and there's, you know, the kitchen cupboards, their color, the brown, it all goes with the gold coloring fairly well. And those pink flowers on there just pull it all together. So now I'm going to put that paper down, and because I did not trim up that gold piece, now I'm going to have a little bit of a problem getting that lined up there and where I want it to go. So I had to get my pokey tool out and work with it to get that paper underneath. That was a pain in the bum to do, but it's done. So thank goodness I didn't rip anything or tear anything up by putting it down. And you can see by that, on that side, I'm leaving space for the photos to go along there. So I don't have to worry about, you know, having a piece of paper that stretches all the way across there. And you can see I kind of got it a little bit wonky. So I'm going to have to go back and pull back up and work to straighten it out some. And that's a little bit frustrating when you have to work with it like this after the fact. And other than myself and you guys, no one is in my family is ever going to know that I had any problem at all getting that paper straightened or lined up or pulled back up multiple times or anything, you know. That's the joy of doing layouts like this. My family will never know my problems with getting these layouts put together. So yes, my granddaughter does have blue lips. She did take a bite of her cake, as you can see in these photos. And it's not unhygienic or unsanitary because she cuts the pieces of the cake when she's done taking a bite, and she actually cuts herself that piece that she took a bite out of. And that's just something that the kids in my family seem to have always done since they've been little, and they always get that piece. And we're not fussy. I don't worry so much about germs from a cake for someone in my family. Now, if it's your family, I might be concerned about eating that cake if the kid has taken a bite out of it and not taken that piece for themselves or taken multiple bites out of it. You know what I mean? So here I just took some of that turquoise paper and I am laying these photos out. The two photos on the ends that I'm highlighting a little bit. Yeah. And this is where I've been thinking about that border along the bottom where the gold is, and just thinking how thick it is and how it tends to pull your eyes up and down away from the photos. And so I need something that's going to diminish that to some degree. So I put this washi tape down, and because I'm trying to pull in a little bit of blue, I pull out this, it's got teal and green tones in it, the washi tape does. And I was actually thinking about putting a different washi tape along the top. That's why I never got it put down. And so here, I'm just going to pull out my ruler to make sure that I center that middle photo so that I don't have to worry about pulling everything back up to tuck that, to tuck those photos. And then it ends up I don't even tuck those photos at all. The two photos on either end, I put a little bit wonky. Just to give them a little bit of interest to make them stand out a little bit more. And if you guys have been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that's not an easy thing for me to do. When I line photos up, I like them to all be linear and even if they're not matchy-matchy by having the same number of photos on each page. I'm okay with that. But if part of them are straight and part are crooked, that tends to bother me a little bit. And it's my OCD. I know it is. Um, it's just one of those things that I work hard to change. I'm a bit left brain. Uh, I have that brain that works really well with Tetris. I do really good at Tetris because I can organize things and put them in their place in my head before it ever goes down on the game. So, yeah, doing layouts like this where I skew something a little bit crooked, it's hard, but it relaxes the right brain. I know. Not a lot of people get that whole right brain, left brain thing, but it's a real thing. So I pull in a doily here and I'm going to put that best day ever there. And I think that's going to be my title until I find a little sticker that goes on the other side that says Happy Cake Day that I like better. This video will cut off before I put my finishing touches on. Here recently, right at the end of putting a layout together, it seems like I get so far into the zone putting the layout together that if my camera is alarming to tell me that it's turning off, I'm not paying attention to it. Or probably like on this day, I probably had a book or an audio book or a video playing in the background and didn't pay any attention to it at all. So anyway, putting some stickers down and just layering them up, adding a little bit of adhesive tape, adding a few additional embellishments along the way. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this layout and I hope it inspires you to get into your stash and create something fun, whether it be layouts or just something crafty in general. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you being here and I will see you on the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.